Welcome back, my audio friends. Today we're going to be talking about the U87 Ai. Specifically, we're going to talk about counterfeit microphones. We had a pretty cool, successful video with the TLM 103, and I just wanted to continue that and offer a little bit of advice on how we can go about identifying the upper tier microphones. So, yeah. Before we get into that, I just want to mention one thing. I know because you're touching on Neumann products that you're far and above this step in your career, but I did write a book. See that? It says How to Get Started Recording Today, 2026 edition. In the book, I start to finish kind of take you through saving really the first 5 years of your career. It tells you exactly what you need, why you need it. And so if you have like an apprentice or an intern, or maybe you just got someone trying to get into recording, it's a 90-page book, very easy read, and it not only tells you why you need things or what you need, but it spells it out in sheets towards the end. Just kind of hooks you up and kind of takes the guesswork out of things. Think of it as a teacher and a consultant. So now that we got my marketing out of the way, let's talk about you. Let's talk about the U87 Ai. I've got on my screen here, I will pull it up, a picture of my U87 Ai. Oh, bear with me. I apparently don't know how to use a Mac. So it looks like we got both sides here. So let's start this video by just bringing this up here. And instead of going, give me the zoomed in one. Let's do that. Instead of going straight into counterfeits, let's just talk about this microphone. All right. So the U87, a classic, you know it. This microphone is replicated through AliExpress and in other Chinese markets. You'll find them on Reverb. You'll find them on eBay. A lot of people want to sell you this microphone, but when you look under the hood, generally we can figure out that it's not real or that it's authentic. The key giveaways we'll get into, but in the meantime, I just want to leave this up. This is something you can pause the video, you could take a look at your microphone, open up the bottom. So essentially the base of every microphone, you're going to counterclockwise twist. Right? It's gonna pull a little piece off, and then once that piece is off, you can basically drop the whole body down and you'll see what you're seeing on the screen here. So compare it, take a look. Usually you'll be able to spot the differences yourself just by looking at the photos. This is a newer U87, and we'll look at some older ones in a minute, but this will help most people just right here. So we'll leave this up for just a little bit longer, and maybe while it's up, I'll describe some of the things that we're going to end up seeing. So on the right hand side, we'll start here. See this shielded looking area, right? Notice how this looks, and then look at your microphone and make sure it looks the same. Okay? Again, we'll go deeper dive in a minute. But see this screw? Same thing. Take a look at the screw. Make sure it looks the same as the photos. Okay. Another thing I want you to look at is on the left here, circuit diagram 06. If it's newer, you'll see that. You may see it say 04. Those are real, but keep in mind I've seen counterfeits with 04 on it. Really, the circuit diagram sticker, in all fairness, doesn't really help you identify shit. So I wouldn't go by that. But while we're looking in this area, you've got a transformer under it. These wires coming out of the transformer, I want you to look at the wires on your microphone. Make sure they look the same. Okay? I'm highlighting these things specifically because I know, based on the counterfeits I've reviewed, these are where parts tend to fuck up. This is where at least the most obvious parts of the microphone aren't correct. Okay, there's a screw right here. Hopefully you can see my mouse. It's right below the big yellow, looks like. It says 470, 400. But yeah, there's a screw, nice flathead screw. Make sure that looks the same. And lastly, you've got a box, a red box, top left corner. Okay. I did a little research on this. It tried telling me this was a capacitor at first. I don't think it is. But then I looked into it further and I saw that it could be a placeholder. I'll be honest, I didn't build the mic, so I'm a little unclear as to what this part is, but I have noticed that this red rectangle with a nice cutout circle doesn't seem to be present in the counterfeit microphones, at least most of the time. So now that you've kind of walked through that with me, I want to tell you that sometimes some things will look correct even though it's counterfeit. So you really want to look at the whole picture. If you take this and you make it into a list and you can check off that everything looks appropriate, you're good to go. But if there's even one thing off, question it. Do not buy it, okay? Looking at the screen, apologies, I'm not making eye contact much here. Let's take a look at some counterfeits now, and I think this will help clear things up. Now that we know what to look for already, and we have two beautiful examples, we are going to together walk through like a class. Alright, so we've got the fakes. We'll get into the real ones last, some real examples. I'm gonna pull this up on the side right here. Okay, reminder, the two images on the left are my U87. That means it's authentic. That means that is our reference. On the right hand side, you see a U87 that was sent in. This is counterfeit. So let's one by one go through some of the things we mentioned. The circuit diagram, what do we notice? First thing we notice, the transformer almost looks wider, looks bigger. Okay, the wires coming out of the transformer, right? It looks like right here, this blue and white wire are actually spliced together and repaired with some heat shrink. Okay, so that's a no-no. I, in many years of taking a look at these, haven't seen anyone splice and heat shrink a wire in an authentic U87. So if you see that, that's a dead giveaway. You can't see the screw that I mentioned, but right here, there's a screw under there. I'm going to leave that as a discussion piece for the future, so just hang tight. If you look up towards the top left, that piece at the top, that was a rectangle, that box, right? That is not the same at all, right? This little spaghetti noodle, maybe it's the same placeholder. Maybe this one up here does nothing too. I'll be honest, I don't build the mics, but I'm telling you, that's not the same part. The authentic one will have your red rectangle box on the circuit. Okay. These are the obvious ones that point out to me. There's more to this circuit the more you look at it that looks odd, but these are the main big giveaways. My eye just draws straight to it and I'm like, okay, that's incorrect. Okay. You could also look at the PCB board markings. You could see that it might not line up. So R108, resistor 108 at the top left corner, for example, doesn't seem to have any text on the counterfeit, right? The body has that cheap Chinese chrome finish as well. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this is our next one, and this is why I left it up for discussion, because it's in clear view now. The screw is a Phillips. Okay, on counterfeits, the screws will be a Phillips screw. Notice how on the Neumann U87 it is a flathead screw. Again, the counterfeit Phillips screw. If you see a Phillips screw, it ain't us. It's not Neumann, all right? This side of the circuit board, by the way, is on the right hand side here. So we're comparing the right hand side of my U87 to the counterfeit. What do we notice, right? That shielding that I was talking about right here. Apparently it's covering nothing on the counterfeit. It just almost looks like 4 fat resistors, right? These are not going to be present without this shielding, at least on a genuine U87. So if this looks exposed like this, it's counterfeit. 100% counterfeit. Okay, we can kind of look at the PCB board and see too that it's just not marked the same. If you look at the genuine Neumann, for example, look at U89, look at U89 on the counterfeit. The U89 on the counterfeit appears smooth, round, right? And then the U89 on the genuine circuit board is going to be more rigid. Looks like there's like flat lines in my 9, right? And then my U0 up here in the top left has a line through it. It's just different font. That's the bottom line, okay? But look at the circuit board, compare it. You'll be able to see the difference. But yeah, right is counterfeit, left is real. Moving on. This is the same one. Okay. So quick recap. Again, we looked at the circuit diagram. The wires are spliced and heat shrinked. That is a big no-no. That is not our transformer. The top left-hand corner, the box is missing. We have this just whatever, you know, it's just like a placement piece. Who knows what it's doing? Looks like a jumper wire. You've got the circuit board at the bottom again. Those green looking resistors are not covered by some sort of shield. The screw is a Phillips, and the font of the PCB board is just totally off. These are all things to look for. Yes, so this one is counterfeit. Okay, this one looks very clean for what it's worth, but notice right off the bat, what do we see? These 4 green resistor looking doohickeys. No shielding above it, right? Phillips head screw. Font is different. Those, I mean, really without going through all the parts, that's enough for me to just say this is counterfeit. Same with the circuit diagram. Again, the 04 doesn't matter so much, but the spliced wire with heat shrink is just a big no. Notice how they actually gave you your nice red brick up here, your box. So even though we see that sometimes in the counterfeits, check everything. It could still be fake. Phillips head screw right there as well. Another one that I noticed, and I don't think we have a side rail picture, but see these rails here? If you turn them so that they're facing you, there'll be some flathead screws in there. In the counterfeit ones, you'll see Phillips head screws. Okay. That is a bottom of the head basket and capsule. I will grab a comparison photo for you here in a second. That's just a crappy photo. Okay. So yeah, I guess we'll just dive right into it. Cool. So on the left is a genuine U87. On the right is a counterfeit U87 head basket. Right off the bat, what do we notice? On the right hand side, the Neumann badge, sticker, whatever you want to call it, it just looks hazy. It looks cheap. It looks translucent almost, like it's fading. The markings look like Crayola.
Wow, the land of make-believe.
Certainly not made in Germany, right? The plastic here, it's like a whitish, translucent looking color. It should be more of a tan. The pin assignment here appears unnumbered, so you'll see these pins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, this is 5, 6, and 7 maybe. So you've got them numbered on the genuine Neumann, while on the counterfeit side, they don't appear to be numbered at all. Okay, it does have a flathead screw. Good job, they did something. But it does appear that theirs is brass and ours is a some sort of chrome metal alloy. There's this plastic piece here. I'll be so honest, not sure what it does, but it doesn't exist on the counterfeit. It's got a Z on it. It is black and it appears to be plastic. Again, not seeing it over here. You can notice too on this little tab that comes out, that's to switch the polar patterns. Just again, different color, different kind of shape. It's a little off and different, right? Overall, it should be pretty obvious which one is real and which one's fake just by having the comparison. So feel free, again, pause the video, just have the real one up, okay? And yes, we will actually Sharpie this in. We're not using crayons. So why don't we just wrap this video up, and the last thing I'll chat with you about is just some of the oddball real U87s. Here we are. Vintage U87. So, this is a cool one. So, if you have a U87 that looks like this, it's just old. It takes batteries, but it's totally real. If you didn't know, this is what it used to look like when it was old. And hell yeah, it looks cool. I mean, this is badass. I geek over this kind of stuff. Alright. At least we got the side rail shot, huh? Those are those flathead screws that you'll see as Phillips that I was talking about. Okay. One more shot. Cool. And then the last thing I want to show you, I wrote a note on this one for you guys because I didn't feel like remembering what the deal was. But check this out. This is a genuine U87. But what you'll notice is that there's a PCB board laying right at the top. Pretty cool, huh? Oh, and look at that, circuit diagram 04. I guess it really came from somewhere. The circuit board, or the PCB board, at the top of this U87 is indeed real. I remember it being that we had a shortage of parts, so we replaced, I believe, a transistor. But let me throw out my little note that I made for you. So yes, perfectly normal. Of the vintage U87. There was a bit of time where Berlin was having a hard time finding a particular transistor and created a small PCB as a replacement. Since then, we found a suitable replacement for the transistor, and we're just no longer building the U87 with that PCB. So, made that just for you. This is real. If you have this, you're good. Don't stress. It's just an older one. In fact, it might sound a little bit darker. Might sound a little cooler. All right. That being said, I want to wrap this video up. I just wanted to say thank you so much for chatting with me. Thank you for putting up with my lack of eye contact because I've been looking at the computer screen. I want to just share one more time that I wrote a book. It is called Getting Started, Recording Today, 2026 edition. It's pretty damn cool. Might not be what you need if you're a Neumann user, but again, if you have a friend, maybe someone younger, or an apprentice, or an intern, or a student of some kind, maybe your friend just wants to get into the industry and they don't have the time to figure it out for the next few years, right? Read the book, 90 pages, nice and simple. Yeah, you can find it on the Apple bookshelf, you can find it on Kindle, you can find it as a paperback on Amazon, and if that sales pitch didn't get to you, maybe just buy the book and help support me, support the channel. Have a nice blue recording book on your bookshelf. Something that you could share. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for hanging out, and if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below.